Let us identify the holes, if any, in this graph, in this function. Um, Holes happen when factors cancel out. So of course we're going to need to factor this to see if any factors cancel out. So let's see. So the numerator, x squared, can only factor as x times x. 3 can only factor as 3 times 1. Now, inner plus outer equals middle. So I'm trying to get a positive 2. Inner, I have 3x. Outer, I have 1x. If I'm to get a positive 2, I will need a positive 3 and a negative 1. So there you go. Positive 3 times negative 1 does make negative 3, so that checks out. Meanwhile, the denominator is the difference of two squares. So this will factor as x plus 3 times x minus 3. So normally, if I look to the denominator, the denominator tells me vertical asymptotes. So normally I would say, oh look, I have two vertical asymptotes. I have one vertical asymptote of x equals negative 3 from this, and x equals positive 3 from that. And normally the numerator would tell me the x-intercepts, and I would have two x-intercepts. One would be at negative 3 because of this, and one would be at positive 1 because of this. But that's not going to happen because here I have a factor that's going to cancel out. X plus 3 cancels out. And when a factor cancels out, it does not give you a vertical asymptote, and it does not give you an x-intercept. Instead, it gives you a hole. Okay, so instead of having an x-intercept at negative 3, I will have a hole at negative 3. And it will not necessarily be negative 3 comma 0 either. Instead of having a vertical asymptote at negative 3, again, I will have a hole at negative 3. We do need to know what the y value of the hole is for graphing purposes. But as far as this multiple choice question, the answer is B. There's a hole at x equals negative 3. But we usually need to know the y value, so how would we find that? Well, this function has now become f of x equals x minus 1 over x minus 3. So I can use this to tell me what the y value of the hole is. Okay, so if I type in the simplified function of x minus 1 over x minus 3, and the hole is at negative 3, so negative 3 comma 2/3. This is where the hole would be. But the answer is B.